Hey there, legendary souls. Welcome back to Unconventional Counseling. And happy Valentine's Day, or sad Valentine's Day. Really, whatever you're feeling, however you feel about this holiday, here we are. It's still here. So, we're going to do a Valentine's Day reading, a love day reading. We're going to check in with the different types of love that you might have in your life. So, for the first pile, this is your self love. I'm going to check in there. For our second pile, this is if you have healthy partnership in your life, whether that's romantic, business, creative partnership, whatever this means to you, but healthy partnership in your life. For our third pile, we're actually going to check in if you have polyamorous connection, just because we don't be talking about too much when people are polyamorous, and I want to do something different. So if you identify as polyamorous, if you want to be polyamorous, if this just resonates with you, this is your pile. And for our fourth pile, this is going to be about divine connection. So whatever that means to you. So you can pick intuitively, give yourself a moment, pause the reading if that's what helps you really check in. And also know that you might be drawn to multiple piles here, right? Like, you're a multidimensional being. These are four wildly different areas that love can show up. So maybe you're drawn to all, maybe you're drawn to two, maybe you're drawn to three. Just let yourself flow with your intuition. And if you are drawn to more than one pile, I would definitely recommend you maybe getting a beverage or a snack, because we might be here a while. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so, so pile number one, hello, you've picked for your self-love reading. The first card out is the Lovers. Your self-love, it could be anything. This could be your relationship to your body. This could be your relationship to self-compassion and how that's showing up in your life, how you talk to yourself, how you think about yourself, how you perceive yourself. If you offer yourself grace at all, if you let yourself take your time, if you're easy on yourself, this reading can encompass a whole lot of different things. So let's see what comes out and let's see what resonates. We have the Badger Spirit with Reveal. Okay. We have a bull, we have a badger. We have the King of Pentacles. So far, I'm really feeling this vibe. Taurus is all about sensuality and being very embodied. In fact, let's read up about Taurus. It says, I am worthy of luxury. Taurus can be found lounging on their green velvet sofa, accompanied with a good book and a chunk of rich, dark chocolate. Fully enjoying their favorite things is nothing to be ashamed of, and once all of their tasks are complete, Taurus tries to enjoy the finer things in life as much as possible. There is stability in taking the time to slow down and break free from a fast-paced life. After all, the human experience is largely about being able to experience the world through the senses. Taurus is here to encourage you to indulge in your favorites, whether that's food, music, or movies. Your senses are tools that connect you with the rest of the world. Use this time to open yourself up to new things and adventures as well. And there's a journal prompt here. How can I cultivate more indulgent experiences? I love that question. How can you cultivate more indulgent experiences? Let's read up about the badger as well. All right, badger, reveal. This card represents revelation and uncovering hidden truths. As creatures buried deep into the earth, they seek to reveal food, warmth, solitude, or protection. Burrowing creatures have long been associated with treasure hunting or delving for secrets. The earth is also the final resting place for many creatures, including humans. And delving underground may also be associated with revelations about life and death. This card urges you to dig deep and find the answer you seek. Badgers dig deep within the earth to create large sets to house themselves. Badger sets sometimes damage or destroy building foundations, farmland, and riverbanks. They can alter the courses of hedgerows and boundary lines. Wow. This card may be seen as a stubborn and relentless determination to dig, a headstrong hunt for the truth in the darkness, without thought for the disruption such unearthed truth might cause. Wow, that feels very aligned with this Taurian energy. Though the Taurus energy was about indulging and doing your favorite things, Taurus is also known to be quite stubborn and headstrong and hardworking. Now, if you're trying to do some shadow work with this, like inspired by this reading, here is your shadow reading. While badgers live in small families or clans and are not solitary animals, they are often observed working for themselves rather than cooperating with others in their set. They do not tend to display support for each other when foraging or raising young. In extreme circumstances, they do not even warn other badgers of danger, preferring to look after themselves. This card may be interpreted as a self-seeking, self-serving, selfish individual. However, it might also be viewed as independence, shyness, or introversion. Wow. Wow. There's so much here already, and I'm like, what do we say? Your self-love journey is off to this. It's off to this start of welcoming so much depth. Wow. We have the Ten of Swords. Everything is fine. So I'm wondering if this shadow work is actually resonating maybe a bit more than just indulging in things that you love. But I'm wondering if there's this possibility for balance, if you get to have both with the star here. What could it be like to get a sense of how you can be more independent in your life, of how it's okay maybe to look after yourself and not cooperate or collaborate. Maybe there are areas of your life where you've been overly reliant on others and it feels like it's time for you to withdraw or to focus on your own needs or to discover what your needs are. And within that journey, discovering what some of your favorite things are, discovering what would be supportive to you to indulge in, I could see that in terms of shadow work, really aligning with this Taurian energy of sensuality and loving on yourself in these really decadent and indulgent ways. There's something else here in this reading though, so I'm just going to keep going and we'll see. We got the Ten of Pentacles. We have Justice. Wow. Your self-love journey is not, it's not this pop, I don't know what to call it. You know how people talk about like pop psychology and it's when they have all these buzzwords? I guess self-care might be a pop psychology buzzword. You know, just like everybody's talking about it. A lot of people don't really know what it is. People have these definitions that feel very superficial, and it's just constantly a part of the conversation. Like everywhere you go, self-care, self-care, self-care. What does self-care mean to you? What does it mean to you? Do you know? Is it actions that you're taking to care for yourself? Is it giving yourself more rest, more space, more permission to just be in between the many things that you do? Is it saying no to things that don't feel good, setting boundaries? Is it how you speak to yourself, speaking to yourself with more kindness? Is it moving your body? Is it resting your body? Is it going to the movies or doing something that you enjoy? Reading a book? Is it learning something? Is it giving yourself a break and just like turning off your brain and getting high and watching TV? Like, is it self-love? Like a self-love, like I'm talking about masturbation. Is it like that? Like getting more into that? What is self-care to you? Do you have a consistent practice of it? Is it something that you pour into when you feel like you need it? Is it something that you expect to give back to you? You know, I was having a conversation this last week with a client, and I ended up saying, there are always these moments, my clients know this, there are always these moments I end up saying something, and I'm like, ooh, that was good. And they're like, yes, Ada, that was good, write that down. And so the thing this week with this particular client was about self-care. And I ended up saying something along the lines of, we don't do self-care just to feel better. We do self-care whether we feel good or whether we feel bad. We do self-care just to show ourselves that we're worthy of love, no matter how we feel. So there are times when we're feeling really sad, really overwhelmed, we're feeling a lot of grief, we're feeling anxious, we're feeling heavy, we're feeling down, we're feeling off. Maybe we do some self-care practices, or we just do our typical routine, or we do something special for ourselves, and we still feel off, or down, or bad, or sad, or we're still grieving. Maybe the needle has moved a little bit in terms of what we're feeling in our bodies or in our emotions, but for the most part, we're still feeling pretty bad or pretty off, pretty down. It doesn't mean that the self-care failed. It doesn't mean that it's not working. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't continue with this practice that we have. It just means it's revealing to us how badly we do feel. That's all it was meant to do in that moment. Self-care, sometimes when we do it, we feel 10 times better. We feel remarkable. We feel wonderful. And in that moment, it just means that it was available, that pathway, that off-ramp into joy or ease or just feeling well or content. That pathway was available for us. So with all the buzzwords in terms of what self-care is and why we should do it and all of that, just know sometimes you do it and you feel the same, or you feel worse, or you experience how badly you have been feeling with more presence, and that makes it feel worse. Sometimes you do self-care and you feel better, or you feel the same, you feel neutral. It's all great to know and to notice what we feel, and the self-care is really just showing ourselves that we deserve love, teaching our bodies, teaching our minds that we deserve love, no matter how we feel, no matter what we're going through. That's my offering to you. We have the Emperor. There's a lot of powerful cards here. You've picked pile number 1, viewer. There's a lot of powerful cards here. I don't know that I know all the way what the message is just yet. I'm just right here along with you for the ride. We have the Seven of Wands. Huh. All right, so Spirit, what are you, oh. Sometimes when I ask Spirit questions, they give me answers before I fully formulated the question. So I'll ask the question so that you know where we're going, but know that Spirit has already answered it because a card fell. All right, so the question I was going to ask was, Spirit, what are you trying to reveal to the viewer? Because I'm just looking at this Badger energy, thinking about how stubborn Taurians are, how stubborn we're learning that Badgers are. What is Spirit trying to reveal to you? You got the Ten of Cups. Okay, my friend. Okay. All right. We have the Ten of Pentacles, we have the Emperor, we have the Ten of Cups, we have the Lovers, we have the Ten of Swords. There is this beautiful opening, this beautiful shift that you are welcoming in, that you are choosing. You truly have the choice. Lovers represents choice. You have this choice to align with yourself in a deeper way. You have this choice to choose to be independent in a way that might be similar to the Badger who doesn't tell other Badgers when there's danger and just fends for themselves. Or it might be a little different than the Badger, and it might just be, I'm just going to focus on me for a while. I'm just going to see what that feels like to focus on me. Maybe you're someone who often is giving to other people. Maybe you're very sensitive and very empathic, and you just find yourself, before you even realize it, you're offering your time, your energy, your resources, your encouragement, your words of affirmation, your validation, your emotional support. Before you even realize it, you're giving because you experience that there's a need somewhere. I have this sense that during this time that we're in, happy Valentine's Day, right? During this season, this little portal that we're in of this week, you might be pulling back your energy, getting clearer with what's going on inside of you, and recognizing that there are moments when you have interpreted or resonated with, or what's the word I want? You've felt that there is a need, right, in relationship with someone else. Sometimes, yes, you are experiencing and feeling and sensing that they have a need. They have a need for more closeness. They have a need to be reassured. Yes, and that's why you might say the encouraging things that you say, or you might try to be available to them when you can tell that they need a presence in their life. Yes. As you're pulling your energy back and as you're spending more time, more quality time with you, and doing some deeper shadow work and asking yourself these questions of like, how do I create more indulgence in my life? And what does it mean for me to be independent? What does self-care mean to me? What does self-love mean to me? You might start to notice that there are moments when you have been projecting your need onto someone else. You might have been projecting your need to be needed. You might have been projecting your need to feel special. You might have been projecting your need to be helpful or supportive. You might have been projecting your need to be validated in your gifts. And projections they can be so slippery at times. They happen constantly. So if you're recognizing that they've been happening, try to be easy on yourself, because all we really ever see when we're interacting with people are pieces of ourselves. So when we get upset with someone, it's because we're seeing something in ourselves, or something that we have longed for that feels like we're still not getting. When we feel excited about someone or attracted or drawn to someone, we're really, truly being drawn to aspects of ourselves that we don't feel like we have as much access to other times when that person isn't in front of us or on our mind or we're interacting with them. So this is like I believe it's an ancient Toltec belief, and I believe that there are a lot of cultures around the world actually that have this belief that it's just us here. It's really just us. It's just us interacting with us. So if that resonates with you, there is something that is being opened for you during this week. There's this new visioning that you're having where you're seeing yourself with a deeper level of clarity. And you might choose to remember. You might choose to keep this level of clarity close by you so that as you keep moving through the world, as you keep relating to other people, as you keep showing up to these connections that you are so committed to showing up to, that you get to check in with yourself first or along the way so that you discover and you get to find out that you're not just giving everything because you're afraid that someone will leave or someone will think that you're not enough or whatever other core wound might be highlighted and showing up within that space of maybe overgiving or overfunctioning. So if you're noticing that you're very tired these days and you're very tired in relationships or certain relationships, know that there's something that you can change and you can choose differently that might support you in getting some more of that rest that you're desiring. Yeah, we got the Two of Swords. It might not be very clear to you right now how to get to your Ten of Cups, how to embody the Emperor, what the blessings even are with this star here, or what the Ten of Pentacles is for your life. You might not have a very clear vision of what that is at this time, but know that you can trust your intuition. So if your intuition is saying you want to be more of a hermit this week or for a season in time, you just want to spend more time with yourself, go with it. See what happens. If your intuition is saying that you don't really want to hang out with that person, or you don't want to respond to their message right now, or you just kind of want some space, you just kind of want to do your own thing, or you want to hang out with different people, or you want to go on an adventure, or just get out of your routine, trust it, go with it, see what happens. So we're going to say that this reading right here is complete. And if you are drawn to pile number 2, we're going to set up for that. And I'll see you very soon. And if not, I hope you take really good care of yourself. I hope this message was encouraging and illuminating. And happy Valentine's Day yet again. Go on and love yourself, pile number 1. Love yourself well. You deserve it. All right, pile number 2. Ooh, that's not pile number 2. The divine partnership really wants to come out. It's probably going to be a really interesting reading. Pile number 2, we have Cleopatra energy. This is if you have healthy partnership in your life. So healthy partnership, right? It can mean business partnerships where it feels like, yeah, okay. I don't know if you hear the barking out there as just confirmation. So if there are business partnerships where you really feel like you're part of a team, you're part of a pack, you don't feel like anybody's trying to one-up anyone, you might consider this a healthy business partnership. So this reading might illuminate something for you. If there are creative collaborators that you have, creative partnerships that you have, people that you just feel like when you sit down to create, there's just this whole vibe that gets created. It's easeful. You get to access parts of yourself and parts of your creativity you didn't even realize you could. Maybe parts of your personality you didn't realize you could. And maybe it's the same for the other person or the other people. It just feels like so much fun. You feel so alive when you're creating with them. So this reading might be for you. If you are in romantic partnership and you consider this a healthy partnership or one of the healthiest partnerships you've been in to date, this is a reading for you. So if there is a partnership that I haven't mentioned, but you're like, there's this one person or people in my life, and it just feels so good and so nourishing to me, and your intuition brought you here, welcome. So let's get into our reading. We have Inspire with the Wren spirit. Okay. So let's read up about Cleopatra. Let's read up about the Wren. And we'll see what additional messages are coming out. Cleopatra. All right. It says, my feminine energy makes me strong. I love that. Cleopatra was known for her cleverness, beauty, and intelligence. She was well educated and is believed to have spoken 12 different languages. Dang! Connections were also made between Cleopatra and the goddess Isis during the time of ancient Egypt. Cleopatra is an embodiment of divine feminine energy and the power that comes with that. There is feminine energy within each of us. It can be seen in the concept of yin and yang and countless others. The power that lies with divine femininity is graceful, beautiful, nurturing, and compassionate. Cleopatra reminds you to not let others underestimate you or the power of the divine feminine. Okay, let me say that again. Cleopatra reminds you to not let others underestimate you or the power of the divine feminine. Whew. Yeah, that landed for me. Did that land for you too? Dang. Practice embodying the goddess within you when you are searching for an extra boost of confidence. And if you'd like a journal prompt, it says, how could I have fun exploring my divine feminine energy and inner goddess? I love that. How can you have fun exploring your divine feminine energy and inner goddess? Wow, don't let anyone underestimate the power of the divine feminine or you. I love this. Maybe this reading is about to be real inspiring. I am excited. Oh, wow. That's really the kind of energy I'm trying to be on, so maybe this reading is for me too. All right. The Wren, Inspire. This card represents inspiration, dream, and nature's influence. The wren is a sacred bird to the Celts and the Druids. In Welsh, they are Dryw, D-R-Y-W, a word that also translates to druid and is associated with the bard Taliesin, a great poet and storyteller of sub-Roman Britain. The wren is a songbird, beginning its mating call in early spring and is seen to symbolize the end of winter. Okay, so first message out. I'm recording this in Chicago. It's winter here in the States and in the Northern Hemisphere. If it is winter for you environmentally or if it is winter for you spiritually, this reading may be symbolizing what is coming at the end of winter or that you are emerging from a wintry period in your life. This card encourages you to listen to the natural world and its inhabitants and take inspiration from their teaching. It is a card of communication without words, of natural, spiritual, and divine inspiration. The Wren card urges us to listen and to be receptive to the truth of others. So it sounds like the Wren and Cleopatra with this divine feminine energy, this goddess energy, are very well, they go well together. That's really cool. This card is a strong symbol of musical talent or the effects of music. It may be urging you to listen to the music around you and take heed of what it's trying to tell you. You might be clairaudient, viewer. You might be able to listen to the lyrics of a song when you're feeling really down and receive a message from the divine or from your guides. You might be able to walk through nature or be outside and hear the rhythm that a bird is making in their song, or hear the crash of waves if you're near a body of water, or hear the breeze and just like how it's moving and rustling leaves. And you might receive messages, or you might receive like a download of a feeling. You might automatically experience calm or ease. You might be clairaudient. So, this card, this energy, is motivation and enthusiasm for creative endeavors. I already know you're a creative. We already know you're a creative. The dogs were barking when I was like, business partnerships, creative partnerships. So it might symbolize a truth long kept in confinement that is bursting forth from us into the world. Okay, so you got something you're here to create and here to do, and you already know about it. Okay. All right, so if you're trying to do some shadow work based on or inspired by this reading, your shadow reading. When the power of inspiration is twisted to negative ends, it can be seen as manipulation or seduction. Ooh. The shadow reading of the Wren card may be warning you against charismatic figures who do not sing true songs. Take a moment to translate their true meanings and ground yourself in the natural world around you. I feel speechless. I'm speechless. That card. Wow. So if you are trying to do some shadow work and there are charismatic figures in your community, in your life, in your family systems, within your business partnerships or your team, within your creative endeavors, they're just like charismatic people around that have a lot of energy and maybe are speaking in ways that feel so emboldened. But a part of you is like, oh no. Like a part of you really doesn't vibe with it. A part of you feels scared, feels burdened, feels off, feels just out of alignment with it. Know that there is something that this person is saying that could be true for them, but maybe it's just not true for you. Maybe they're speaking a truth that does not align with you. So, yeah. And then on the other hand, if it connects to you, if you're noticing that you have this ability to speak so charismatically, it might be time to, before you speak, before you share what you want to say, because you might be feeling really empowered and really excited, and you might be getting all these visions and dreams and good, ooey gooey good feelings about a person, a place, a situation, a time in life. And you might want to speak over it and speak out loud and speak to the people that feel involved with your dreams and your manifestations and your desires. You might want to get clear with yourself what it is that you're trying to express to the other person. So the charisma that you have is a gift. It's something wonderful and beautiful. The thing is, our gifts are oftentimes for us first. So you might need to look in the mirror and you might need to hype yourself up, and you might need to be like, oh my gosh, I had this dream. Oh my gosh, I had this vision. Ooh, this is about to happen. This is about to happen. This is about to happen. Yes, I claim it. You might need to hype yourself up. This might be a part of your own spiritual evolution, your own spiritual journey. To speak over yourself, to give yourself the validation, to give yourself that boost of charisma, to hear your own voice, to hear your own truth from your own mouth to your own ears, right? You might need to journal about it. You might need to speak, you might need to read it back and speak it out loud, or audio journal about it and hear yourself. Because something I've just been learning, and this is a very new discovery because I am someone who has this gift of charisma. Something that I'm learning is it doesn't have to do with anybody else. This inspiration, this inspiring nature that I have, it doesn't have to do with anybody else. And when I give just a little bit, versus the whole thing, it has as big impacts as I think that the whole thing is going to have. So if you are someone who has this charismatic energy like me, I would encourage you to get clear for yourself what you're trying to say to someone else. So have your moment, have the inspiring time, have the pep talk, encourage yourself, talk to yourself about all the things, and then remember that you're speaking to another person, or that you're sharing something that someone else might not be resonating with. Like they might not be on the same vibe as you. So maybe say a lot less. Maybe just say, hey, I've been thinking about you. Maybe that's all you need to say. I've been thinking about you. How you doing? And it might be so different. It might feel like it's almost out of balance with the level of certainty that you have around something, or the level of, connection that you feel with a person. But there is something so sweet in being very present and just saying, hey, I was thinking about you. How are you? So that's the message there already. Yeah, I feel like this charismatic energy, this resonates with you. We got the Emperor next to Cleopatra. So there's a whole lot of royalty energy that you're coming through with, viewer. I'm trying to... Okay. For all the readers out there, you know how awkward it can be when you're reading and everything is just askew and askance and akimbo. We have the Ten of Swords yet again. This came out in pile number 1. The Emperor did as well. Something is coming to an end. Something is newly beginning. Ooh, the Devil. Yeah. So this feels like it affirms what I'm saying about if you are the one who has charismatic energy, there might be some attachment that you have to your words and to your words being heard by another person. You might really be wanting to influence someone else and not realizing that that at its base level, influence is manipulation. Manipulation isn't necessarily a negative thing, but when we don't take someone else's needs or comfort or just where they're at into our consideration, it can what we're doing can skew a bit, Yeah, we have the Eight of Pentacles. This may be something that you've been working on for quite some time. How much to share, when to share, to whom. How can you be in your divine feminine power and energy of receptivity, but also recognize that sometimes people do underestimate you, and maybe you want to advocate for yourself. And in that self-advocacy, you have all these words that come to you, all these words that you want to share, all these things you want to say, all these sounds you want to connect, all these maybe you want to send people playlists and music and just like have them truly, deeply understand where you're coming from. And it's led to a lot of heartache, a lot of grief, a lot of sadness. But within this sadness, there is this possibility that's coming. There's this you're starting to, because you've experienced this so many times, this time around, you're starting to wonder what else is possible. You're starting to get curious about what you could create, maybe through the grief, through the pain, through the heartache. There's something that's shifting for you in terms of your understanding of power. And it feels like it's really starting with this divine feminine energy. There are people that you collaborate with, or maybe spiritual energies that you collaborate with, that this is going to be a really good year, is what I'm hearing. This year, the next 3 years are going to be really good years for this collaboration, for this business partnership or creative collaboration. There's just so much in the works. There's so much in the works, and there's so much within you that is like kind of taking its time to come through. And we know that the things that take time tend to last longer. So there's something really beautiful about a slow burn. There's something beautiful about letting things unfold. There's an offering. An offering, it might feel quite romantic, for lack of a better word. It might feel very dreamy. I'm thinking very Piscean energy. So maybe this Pisces-Saturn transit that we're in is very impactful for you in terms of your creativity or in terms of this healthy partnership that's on your mind. Are you surprised? Are you surprised that you pulled the 10 of Pentacles? I'm not surprised. I'm delighted, but I am not surprised. And we have the 7 of Pentacles. So it feels like you're going to be really taking your time and watching your manifestations grow, watching the exact things that you desire, the types of community, the types of care, the types of love, the types of legacy, the types of family that you've been wanting. You've been wanting to create things that support people, maybe like you, that don't feel like they have a close connection to family, or that they don't trust themselves so much, or that they don't think that they're creative enough. They doubt their creativity when people underestimate them. There's something that you're creating, or there's something that you are currently doing within this healthy partnership that is coming to mind, that is going to take a while, and you're working really hard at it. However, before you know it, the next few years, but before you know it, it's just going to unfold so beautifully. So beautifully. The plants are just going to get even taller. Before you know it, you're going to be living in a greenhouse. And you might not notice all the growth because you're so present to it. It's kind of like when a little kid is really, really, really wanting to grow up. They want to grow up. They want to get taller. They want to get taller. But all the while they're growing, and they can't really see that, they're an inch taller than they were last summer, or that they don't have their baby cheeks anymore over a certain summer. And it's not until their cousin or their aunt or uncle or somebody who's not around very often to see the day-to-day growth, it's not until somebody else comes and is like, oh my gosh, you're so much taller, you've grown so much, that maybe the kid is like, have I? I have? Okay, this is weird, this is really awkward, you're really excited about this thing. I was really excited about this thing, but now it's here, and now it just feels normal. Your 10 of Pentacles is going to feel normal. It's going to feel real normal. It's going to feel like you're going to wake up one day and somebody who knew you when is going to be like, oh my gosh. Or you're going to be reflecting on what you've always wanted. And maybe you'll just like start crying because you'll connect to your inner child, or you'll connect to your journal entries from the past. And when you really desired what you have now, you'll just be like, oh my goodness, it's here. It's here, right here in front of me. I didn't even fully realize. Know that if this happens, you didn't realize because it was meant for you to create the foundations, to create the life that is your 10 of Pentacles. So you closed the gap. You made it more real every single day with all of your hard work and all of your visioning and all of your just pouring into yourself and acknowledging your feelings, and acknowledging your feelings have have importance and are valid and have power. So this reading feels complete. If you were drawn to another reading, I will see you very soon. And if not, I hope to catch you in the future, and I hope that this reading offered you something really wonderful. Take really good care of yourself. Bye. All right. Pile number 3. You know I'm excited about this. I hope you know. Let me let you know. I'm excited about this. Pile number 3, we're talking about polyamorous connections. Have you seen any reader anywhere do a tarot reading, checking in on your poly life? My friend, it's going to happen right now because we're here. We're out here. We're out here. All right, so we have rainbow fluorite. Let's read up on that. Meditation is an important part of my spiritual journey. Love. Blends of green, purple, and deep blue make this crystal stand out amongst the rest. When held up to the sunlight, the individual colors stick out even more, and with each turn of the hand, a new pattern can be found. Rainbow fluorite is a potent stone that can help to cleanse the aura and clear out negative energy. Nice. Rainbow fluorite encourages you to meditate in the coming days, making space for the clarity of the patterns in your life to emerge. Even 3 minutes in the morning can make all the difference before you go about your day. Give your mind and body the rest it needs and connect with your breath. Let it fill you and rejuvenate you. The breath is our life force, our prana, and it carries you throughout life. Taking just a few moments of your time to rest the outer eyes can bring you to a peaceful state and realign your energy. Hold fluorite in your hand or keep it in your space to amplify your cleansing practices. If you don't have fluorite or you can't access it just yet, you might want to take a screenshot, because it counts, right? It all counts. Take a screenshot, and you just have this somewhere for you, somewhere you can return to it. It'll have the same cleansing properties. Your journal prompt. What is the best way for me to incorporate meditation into my practice? That's beautiful. So I love that meditation is coming out as something important. You know, we know that in terms of polyamory, it's just more of everything. It's more intimacy, it's more misunderstandings, it's more of getting triggered, it's more growth opportunities. And the time that you need to check in with yourself, the time that you need for self-care, the time that you need to meditate might also be more. So I love that meditation is coming out here because it really speaks to how when you're centered, when you have returned to center, when you have returned to your breath, so many things feel more clear and therefore more possible. We have the koala with protect. Oh, that's gorgeous. Koala. This card represents protection from harm and comfort in difficult times. This card is the protection of a safe place, a thick blanket rather than a suit of armor. Despite its bear-like appearance, the koala is a marsupial. And as with most marsupials, koalas care for their young using an abdominal pouch, keeping them safe, close, warm, and nourished. Koalas tend to avoid energy-heavy, hostile behavior unless it's necessary, but they can be aggressive and territorial when they are forced. The koala card represents comforting protection. Sadly, many myths and legends of Australian Aboriginal peoples have been lost due to their tragic history. One surviving story, I would say their erasure from the world. One surviving story from the Gumbaynggirr people of New South Wales is that of the Great Flood, in which a little boy uses koala intestines to create a bridge between the islands that emerged from receding floodwaters. After the bridge was built, the people of Africa joined those of Australia, and the different Aboriginal tribes were born. Much like modern conservation efforts to keep the koala from extinction, this card promotes conservation of nature, protection of culture, and caring for others. So in terms of the polycule that you have, or the vision of the type of polyamorous community that you desire, there might be a lot around peacefulness, a lot around protection, a lot around care, and conservation of energy, conservation of how each person is naturally, and allowing that to be, having a culture within your polycule where each person gets to be the fullest expression of themselves. That might be the desire that you have, the vision that you have, and the care that you're attempting to offer. If you're trying to do some shadow work, inspired by this reading, your shadow reading is: the koala gets very little energy from their diet, so the creatures conserve their energy through slow movement and regular rest. Okay, I love this because in the culture that we have where polyamory is becoming, again, more of a buzzword. Everything's a buzzword these days. It's kind of awkward. But people are talking a lot more about polyamory and ethical non-monogamy. And if you engage in polyamorous practice, if you know people who are polyamorous, you might end up seeing a lot more of people moving very quickly into relationships and out of relationships, a lot of movement, just a lot of things happening very fast, people moving in together very quickly. There being just like, I don't know, just like relationship escalator type of things. If you're into relationship anarchy, you know this phrase. If you are not, relationship escalator is elevator, escalator, ladder, whatever the words are, where there are things that people have come to assume in our culture are tenets or milestones of a successful or healthy relationship. And they often proceed, like they build on one another. So something like meeting someone's parents, or moving in together, or getting married. These are all things that our culture has kind of wired into us as signs of a healthy relationship, or a relationship that is progressing or more serious than another one. However, in terms of relationship anarchy, and especially even in terms of polyamory, it's not always possible to do all of take all of these steps with each partner, and it might not be feasible. It might not make sense depending on what certain relationships offer the people who are part of it. The people who are part of it might not even want those things in general or with one another. So there's this aspect culturally of what we're being exposed to in the media, and maybe with friends and communities that we're a part of, that to be polyamorous means that you're moving quickly, you're moving constantly, you're moving all the time. And there's so much change happening constantly. And if this resonates with you and you enjoy this, go for it. Move for it. Go with it. just toss out what I'm about to say. But if it actually makes you a little overwhelmed, or you feel like you can't find your footing within how fast-paced everything can be, with this rainbow fluorite talking about meditation, and now with this koala card that's talking about conserving of nature, conserving of energy, it's okay to move slowly. It's okay to move in a countercultural way within something that is already countercultural. It's okay to move at your own pace. It's okay to need regular rest in between dates. It's okay to need to meditate before or after connecting with a new lover or with lovers in general. It's okay to take that time for yourself, maybe before you engage with someone, before you make plans, because there is only so much time to spend with people. There is only so much energy at times, right? So one of the main things in terms of polyamory is often conversations about resources of energy in terms of spoons, if that means anything to you, resources of, time, because if you gotta work, that already takes up a bunch of time. If you gotta sleep, that already takes up a bunch of time. And there's only so much left at times to pour into the relationships that you're cultivating. All right. So consequently, the koala is often associated with laziness or lethargy. A shadow reading of this card may indicate protection without teeth. It's an offer of safety and comfort without substantiating the offer with action, care, comfort, and defense. Ooh. Okay. So sometimes you might have been drawn to pile number 2 in terms of inspiring people with charisma. But sometimes we can have a very big vision of how we want to protect a loved one, or how we want a loved one to show up in protecting us. And sometimes we find that we or the other person doesn't actually have the energy, the capacity, the ability in that moment when it seems really important to show up, to being able to protect, being able to show that care in that way, to be able to provide the effort, to be able to defend, someone's honor if that feels relevant or comes up. And so I wonder, if you're going to do some shadow work around this, to ask yourself how far off your reality of polyamory is currently with your vision of it. Are there aspects of your ideals around polyamory that feel out of alignment with the people that you have currently in your life, and knowing their strengths, knowing their capacities? Are you desiring more from the people that you are loving on than what they can give you at this time? Hard questions to ask, because these questions will illuminate things, and they'll illuminate how you feel, and you might need to meditate on some things. Yeah, got the 9 of Swords. You might need to meditate on some things that are causing overwhelm, some things that are contributing to a lot of sadness. You have the 8 of Cups. There may be a lot that you've invested in these relationships, or in this vision of this relationship, and you might find that there's something that you need to move on from, something that you've outgrown. Whether this means that you need to form a new vision of what your polycule, what your polyamorous dynamics can be or get to be, what the culture of your polycule will be or can be based on who is available and what they're available for, the people that you are loving on, or what you even have capacity for, if you have space and energy to invite in new people and getting maybe more clear on what these new folks, what you would hope for or like for these new folks to contribute to the vision that you have. Or it might be that there are relationships that might need to shift in some way, shift in commitment, shift in terms of closeness or proximity. You might need to take a break from a certain relationship, a certain way of showing up. Meditation keeps coming to mind. You might need to meditate more or begin a meditation practice. We have the Eight of Swords. So there's a lot going on in your mental body around this relationship or these relationships that are on your mind. And you just want to be happy. You just want to be satisfied. You just want things to work out. You just want things to make sense. You just want to feel good about yourself. You just want polyamory to work for you in the ways that you really trust and believe that it can. I hear you. You got the King of Pentacles. So it is really time for you to create a new vision. You might end up scrapping the old vision. You might build upon the old vision, but it's time for you to create a new vision. And with it having you at the center of what would make you happy and what would make you feel abundant. Abundant in love, abundant in connection, abundant in commitment, abundant in care, abundant in feeling protected and being able to protect another. Wow. You want to be happy, and it's out here. It's out here for you. You have the sun. The sun. You can really see how stark these energies are. You can really see this journey that you're heading on, where it's taking you. So if there's a relationship that you feel called to leave, to take a break from, or a vision of a relationship or a polycule system that you feel like needs reworking, know that it is well aspected for you to do this inner work and to get clear on what your fears are and to get clear on where you're doubting yourself and to get clear on some of your limiting beliefs about what is even possible for you in terms of relationship and dynamics and love. Right now you might be feeling very, very, very overwhelmed, very burdened, very much in need of a break. Two of Pentacles. You're trying to prioritize and juggle the resources that you have, what we were talking about, of time, of money, of energy. You're really trying to get clear on what your capacity is. Maybe each day it changes, because I'm really seeing that you want to show up to partnership and to polyamory in ways that feel aligned with who you are. You really want your values to shine through. Wheel of Fortune. Some things are changing. Divine timing is shifting things for you. And Page of Swords. There's something new. There's like a new thought. A thought that you haven't ruminated on. A thought that is not feeling limiting to you. But there's a new thought forming. And it might be a time to revisit resources that you have around polyamory, certain books, media, movies, podcasts. Or if you've never really engaged with those, this might be a time to set up a practice to really start to dig into them more so. Because the Page of Swords is constantly learning. The Page of Swords is so resourceful and wants to know everything there is to know about whatever subject is in front of them. Yeah, Empress. Yeah, Empress under the sun. So right now, as you're watching this, or around Valentine's Day, things might be feeling pretty heavy in your polycule, might be feeling pretty heavy within you. You might be noticing that there are some shifts that you're ready to embark on. And there are just some ways that you felt like you haven't felt cared for, or there hasn't been as much effort put in, maybe that you've put in some of your relationships. You might be shifting the vision that you have around these relationships in this polycule. Or you might be allowing yourself to have your vision and to release certain people from needing to be in certain roles within your vision. You might be discovering that you have more capacity for what you want, for what you need, for what you desire. And you're ready to learn. You're ready to learn what's within you. You're ready to meditate on what you desire. You're ready to read certain books, listen to podcasts, just garner the resources that you need to really digest the information and create a new vision or build upon the vision that you've had before in terms of polyamory in your life. Thank you so much for being available to this reading. I hope that it resonated for you, and hopefully we can keep this up in some way. Put a comment down below if this was impactful for you in any way. All right. Hope you take really good care, and happy Valentine's Day again. Bye. Hey there, pal number 4. So, the Opal card. You've picked the Opal card. You're here because you're thinking about, you are resonating with a divine partnership in your life. This might be a soulmate relationship that is present in your life, or that you are open to and you feel is out there somewhere in the world for you. This might be a twin flame. If you know what those are and you have a sense that you're on a twin flame journey, maybe this reading is for you. Twin flames are there's a whole lot of information and misinformation out there about twin flames. I'm not going to try to clarify too much because I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on it. But if you resonate with that journey from what you do know, or you resonate even just from hearing the phrase, and you're drawn to this reading, welcome. And if your divine partnership that's coming up for you doesn't feel like it's about you being in relationship with another person, but it actually truly just feels like it's about your relationship with the divine, with your spirit guides, with your angels and your archangels, your guardian angels, your well ancestors, welcome. Let's see what this reading has to offer all y'all. Okay, Opal. What I give to the universe is sent back to me. Ashe. An embodiment of magic, opal glistens like a prism. A rainbow of colors can be seen in this stone, known for helping to create balance and to regulate emotions. Opal is a stone of amplification, meaning that what is presented to the stone is heightened and then sent back to the user. You are being called to manifest and send out positivity to all that surrounds you. In other words, give and you shall receive. Focus on raising your vibration and sharing your light and positivity with others. Not only could you make someone's day a little brighter, but you will be encouraging the same types of energy to come back to you. What you focus your attention on is what you draw into your life. So focus on what your soul craves. That's beautiful. That feels like it's the whole reading, but we'll keep reading, sure. The journal prompt. What is one small step that I can take today to raise my vibration? That's a really beautiful question, because whatever the answer is, it can turn into a practice. It can become, it makes the whole process feel a little less overwhelming, right? Just one small step. Maybe it's you go outside and you breathe some fresh air. It's one small step that you could take. Ooh. instinct. I don't know what animal this is. I gotta find out. Is it a fox? Is it a wolf? Okay, instinct. Let's find out. Yeah, it's the wolf. Okay. This card represents instinct and trusting your own animal self. It is a reminder that humans are grounded in the natural world and should respect our senses and gut reactions. The wolf is an integral creature in many North American indigenous cultures. The observation of the wolf as a wanderer made them synonymous with pathfinding and trailblazing. The wolf card may symbolize following your instinct and finding your own path through the wilderness. This card urges you to trust your own instincts in the face of those who might tie you down or attempt to overpower you. It is the underlying wildness of the wolf inside the domesticated dog. This card might also be seen as a symbolic of a longing to be free from a commitment or obligation. Wow. Whew. Now, if you are drawn to doing shadow work and inspiration from being inspired by this reading, your shadow reading it's a warning against suppressing your instincts and keeping your emotions bottled up because they will explode. Okay. All right. So we've got give and you shall receive. Put out into the universe positivity because you might make someone else's day brighter, but also you're going to get back that positivity. And we have trust your instincts and let yourself feel your feelings and be honest with yourself about what you feel. Does this reading feel like it's in contradiction at all? We have the Four of Wands. All right. The Five of Swords. The King of Swords. The Page of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles. All right. So this next year is this year, 2024, but also this next year. So when we think of the beginning of, there's so many different beginnings to a calendar year. There is January 1st of the calendar year, beginning the whole year. There is the Lunar New Year, which also begins the year. It happens in February every year. Then we also have the spring equinox, the Aries new moon, because Aries is actually the beginning of the zodiac, the beginning of spring. So that also is the beginning. So whether you're seeing the beginning of this year as January, as February, as March, know that this year, so January to January, February to February, or March to March of 2025, know that this next year is going to be really impactful for you in terms of this divine partnership. So whether that is your relationship with spirit, whether that is your relationship with a soulmate, with a twin flame, whether you've met this person or not, whether you have a regular practice of talking to your guides or not, this next year is going to open up so much for you. And within it, you're going to find a new level of commitment that you didn't even realize could be possible. And you're going to be celebrating that commitment. You're going to be celebrating the ways that you showed up in ways that really maybe surprised you, in ways that you could be more diplomatic, in ways that you could be more tolerant and amenable to different energies, to the ways that you've maybe stood your ground when it felt like someone wanted to overpower you, and the ways that you've trusted your instincts and you didn't doubt yourself around the different energies, the disparate energies, the tense energies that maybe came up within you or within this partnership or within the surrounding nature, the environmental aspects of this partnership. Anything that has felt like an obstacle to you getting closer to the divine, to you being able to deepen with a soulmate or with a twin flame, these things are going to be highlighted. But what I see for this year is you feeling proud of yourself, of how you showed up. You really just owning how you're showing up and trusting yourself that much more. I'm seeing you setting intentions with each new moon around this divine union. I'm seeing you having a practice, some small practice that raises your vibration that you continuously do. Like you just getting clearer and clearer with yourself about what it is that you need to raise your vibration, what it is that you need to trust your instincts. We have the Queen of Swords. So we have the King and the Queen. So if this is a person, they are your divine counterpart. If this is you and the divine, this is just an amplification of your power. You tapping in more to your relationship with the universe and with the divine, with your spiritual team. There's a balancing of your energy. And it's so instinctive. It's so intuitive. It's so decisive. The ways that you're going to experience life through this year and beyond. You have the Eight of Pentacles. So there is mastery afoot for you. There is hard work that you've been doing. There's hard work that you're going to continue to do. And on the other side of it, or through the process of this hard work, is a sense of mastery. And we find mastery through a lot of practice. You're going to be practicing a whole lot within this union. We have the Lovers. And the Sun. So Gemini season through Leo season of this year and maybe of next year are going to be really powerful. You're going to maybe experience more of a potent upsurge of this energy, of this connection to the divine, of this deeper connection to yourself. And I say deeper connection to yourself because we attract what we are. So if there are obstacles with you and a divine counterpart, there might be parts of yourself that you're shutting yourself off from experiencing. There might be emotions that you have. The Five of Cups. There might be grief that is still somewhat unprocessed. And you'll feel that. You'll feel that in your body. You'll feel that when you wake up some days and you're just sad. Or you go to bed and you can't quite explain it all the way, but you just wish that you could share your life or your bed or your home or your thoughts or your dreams or your heart or your love with this person. Or if you have a deep relationship with the divine, maybe sometimes you just wish that they were like a physical presence so that they could hold you at times. You know, there is a longing that you have for something deeper, for something more consistent, for something that will really nourish you in all of the ways that you've been desiring and dreaming up. We have the King of Cups. So know that as you allow yourself to feel your feelings, as you allow grief really to take you on a journey, to take your body on a journey, and you listen to your instincts around what you need as you navigate and process through this grief, you are becoming the King of Cups through that process. You are becoming intuitive and emotionally balanced in ways that you haven't even seen before. And your divine union will reflect this and will appreciate this, and there is room for this energy. And we have the Strength card closing out your reading. There's so much strength and love and compassion and joy and fortitude available for you through this next year and through this divine union. Trust yourself. You're on a journey. You might not be able to see all of it all the time, but trust yourself. Trust yourself and just continue to raise your vibration in small ways. Continue to give out positivity when you have positivity to give. When you have grief to give, don't give something different. Give what you got if you want to give anything at all. Right? You have choice. You have choice. You have choice. So when you have an abundance of positivity, give positivity. When you're feeling down or you're feeling tired or you don't have too much to give to yourself. So this reading feels complete. Let's pause our reading here. I hope you got something important out of this. And I hope you take really good care of yourself, and I'll catch you in the future. Bye.